If you read newspaper headlines or listen to the same stream media, you'll hear that Obama won the election thanks to a new coalition on the left. But what does the new left actually look like, and where did it begin? What does it stand for? Well, it's largely minority, anti-patriarchal, a movement full of feminists that says, we don't want your society or your traditions or your values or your institutions. We just want your money. It's why people like Spike Lee. I saw this in the New York Times. I could not believe I was reading it. Spike Lee was complaining about how his beloved Brooklyn has become too rich and too prosperous. I know, crazy, right? Poor old Spike is upset because his favorite, middle class, kind of down home, average Joe restaurants are being replaced by high-end upscale places in his old stomping ground. That's the thing with liberals and people like Spike Lee. He's upset that his old neighborhood is becoming rich because when he goes back there, well, all those things that remind him of where he came from, well, they're all gone. In other words, it's okay for Spike Lee to work his way out of a poor upbringing, but shouldn't everybody else have the opportunity to do the same? And it's scary when you actually get upset that other people are having prosperity. You see, for guys like Spike Lee, it's not about helping others. It's about making himself feel good. That's what the New Left is really all about. Joining me to discuss all of this is David Horowitz. He's the author of the book Radicals, Portraits of Destructive Passion, and the founder of the David Horowitz Freedom Center. Hi, thanks for joining me tonight.
Well, thanks for having me.
So
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to disagree with you a little. Yeah, I don't think a new coalition elected Obama. I think that Republicans just threw the election. If Romney had made Marco Rubio his VP, that would have taken enough of the Hispanic vote. If he just had inspired conservatives enough to get the coalition, the conservative coalition that supported McCain to support him, he would have won. He got fewer votes than McCain did. If he hadn't blown the Benghazi issue, I just gave it away. He had his own October surprise. This is the worst episode. I can't think of a worse thing that any president has done than leave four of our ambassador and three American heroes calling for help for hours and not send the help. And Romney, it was too polite to mention it during the campaign. Well, so I don't think conservative. The one thing I will, and the one thing I will say is, and I don't want to, rain on your parade there. Everything you said about opportunity is right, but the Republicans and conservatives basically have everybody who understands those arguments. The problem is you can't just run on the economy. Republicans win on foreign policy and the economy. The economy puts together the base of the coalition, and foreign policy does the rest. And he just gave the whole foreign policy game up. That's my view.
I understand that Romney didn't really excite conservatives, but when we're seeing this sort of postscript report of all the people that added up to the Obama coalition, I was following some of your writing about this coalition being bred out of 60s radicalism on college campuses.
Well, it's bred out of our look, our educational system now is controlled by the veterans of the 60s, by anti-American leftists. They're anti-capitalist and they're anti-American. And they dominate our university faculties that, and the liberal arts faculties, where everybody has to go through those. Everybody doesn't have to go through an astrophysics course, which is politically neutral, but they definitely have to go through these sociology, women's studies, and all this kind of stuff. And then our K-12s, those unions, the teacher unions, in addition to blighting the lives of millions of poor black and Hispanic children, something Republicans never mention, also are indoctrinating our K-12 children in leftist values and leftist outlooks. Why during the Republican convention did they never mention the economic victims, the blacks, the Hispanics, the women of Barack Obama's anti-capitalist, anti-market policies? They did a wonderful job of stressing opportunities and investment and all that, but they didn't talk about the victims. And this is what conservatives never get, because conservatives are very cerebral. And that is, these elections are not settled by policy arguments. Obama didn't advance really any, fair, tax the rich, but no serious policy. His whole campaign was based on destroying Romney's character, abortion, contraception, complete misrepresentation of Bain Capital, and
Romney didn't hit back. There was no tough guy.
Exactly.
There was no tough guy street fighter in the Romney campaign.